In the dying years of the 19th century, a 16-year-old boy rose from his father's farm and left for Detroit on train. This rebellious boy would later change the course of history of automobiles industry to what we know today. After 35 years of his struggle in Detroit, he became one of the richest men in the history of automobiles, and his name was Henry Ford, the inventor of Ford Car Company. In 1863, Dearborn, Michigan witnessed the birth of a legend. Henry Ford, the man who would reshape transportation as we know it, came into this world. Raised on a farm, young Henry's heart beat for mechanics instead of the tranquil countryside. His dreams were filled with gears, not chickens. At just 12 years old, a shiny pocket watch sparked a fire within Henry. Like a mechanical maestro, he dissected and reassembled it with awe-inspiring precision. But hold on to your hats, because the adventure was just beginning. Imagine a 13-year-old stumbling upon a magnificent steam engine. It was pure magic. Henry couldn't resist the allure and dove headfirst into its mysteries. Mechanics wasn't just a hobby, it was a burning passion that consumed him. But the story gets even more exciting. At 16, our fearless hero left behind his familiar village, ready to conquer the unknown. He embarked on a quest to find his true purpose and leave an indelible mark on the world. Moving to Detroit. Our young and ambitious engineer set foot in Detroit, ready to conquer the world of manufacturing. He snagged a job at a streetcar manufacturing company, thinking he had hit the jackpot. Just 6 days into the job, he found himself walking out the door, pink slip in hand. Talk about a sudden detour on the road to success. Undeterred by this hiccup, Henry Ford knew he had to keep those gears turning. So, what did he do? He landed a night gig as a jeweler, tinkering away with watches while the city slept. And get this, he did this for a whopping 6 hours a night, 6 days a week, all for a grand total of $3 in his pocket. However, Henry would still study and experiment with machines whenever he had free time. But our determined hero wasn't going to let setbacks define him. In 1882, he returned to his roots in Michigan, where he found solace on the farm. Luckily enough, his father had purchased a portable steam engine which had quickly become a norm among farmers. Henry spent most of his time elbow deep in machines, experimenting and playing around with them like a kid in a toy store. Little did he know that these tinkering sessions would be the catalyst for his meteoric rise to fame. Word of his extraordinary talent with machines spread like wildfire throughout the state of Michigan. Soon enough, he caught the attention of the prestigious Westinghouse Engine Company from the bustling city of Schenectady in New York. It was during this time at Westinghouse that Henry Ford's personal life took an exciting turn. He crossed paths with a remarkable woman by the name of Clara Jane Bryant. Love was in the air, and before you could say happily ever after, our hero popped the question, and they got engaged. Talk about a power couple in the making. The new engine. In 1891, when Henry and Clara Ford settled into their cozy little apartment in Detroit, little did they know that destiny was about to knock on their door. Henry was flipping through the pages of British magazines, and bam, there it is, a gas engine, a game changer that would turn the world of transportation upside down. Invented by the legendary German engineer Nicholas Otto, this engine had speed, efficiency, and an irresistible charm that hooked Henry right away. But Henry wasn't one to sit back and simply admire from a distance. Oh no. He rolled up his sleeves and boldly applied for a job at the Edison Illuminating Company for a salary of $40 a month. His job was to primarily fix the engine whenever it broke or developed a fault, but when it was working fine, he didn't have much else to do. This gave Henry more than enough time to immerse himself in learning about electricity and how it works. Fast forward to 1893, and the Ford family had a new member, Baby Edsel. Henry's hard work and dedication paid off when he was promoted to the prestigious position of chief engineer at the company. But that wasn't enough for our ambitious protagonist. Henry had a dream, an audacious dream of creating a horseless carriage that would change the world forever. And in the magical early morning hours of June 4th, 1896, the quadricycle was born. Powered by that revolutionary gas engine, this baby was ready to hit the roads. Well, almost. It faced some minor hiccups, like missing gears and a tendency to overheat faster than a summer sunburn. But Henry Ford wasn't one to give up easily. He dove headfirst into his tinkering kingdom, making adjustment after adjustment until the quadricycle was a beast ready to roar. Henry's passion and perseverance were unmatched as he added a cooling system and fine-tuned every nut and bolt. This guy was a modern-day wizard turning scrap metal into pure automotive magic. Henry parted ways with his beloved quadricycle, selling it for a cool $200. But you know what's even cooler? He used that money to fuel his next big project, propelling him further along the extraordinary road of transportation innovation. The business failures. In 1899, and with the Detroit mayor's support, Henry dove headfirst into building his second experimental car. But he didn't embark on this wild journey alone. He took the esteemed lumber merchant, William Murphy, on a pulse-pounding test drive that left him begging to be part of Henry's vision. And just like that, the Detroit Automobile Company roared to life. Now, hold on tight, folks, because this road has its share of twists and turns. Sadly, the company hit a roadblock and veered off course. Why? Well, it seems Henry's revolutionary ideas clashed with the stakeholders' desire. They wanted passenger cars, while Henry was revving his engines in a different direction. On top of that, sourcing parts from multiple companies caused delays that would make rush hour traffic seem like a breeze. Can you imagine an entire factory waiting with bated breath for a single delivery? Talk about putting the brakes on progress. But our resilient hero doesn't let setbacks slow him down. Henry shifted gears and set his sights on the thrilling world of racing cars. Why? Because nothing gets the heart racing like a good old race. The speed, the adrenaline, the roar of the engines, it's the perfect stage to showcase his automotive genius and prove his worth to investors. Zooming past the competition, Henry's newly designed racing car left the likes of Alexander Winton and the nation's top racing driver in the dust. The town was buzzing with excitement as Henry's car became the talk of the town, revving up investor confidence in the process. And just like that, the Ford Motor Company was born, with Henry at the helm as the chief engineer. But hold on, folks, because this road trip takes an unexpected turn. His investors wanted him to focus on creating passenger cars, but Henry had a need for speed coursing through his veins. The clash of gears led to his departure from the company, leaving a trail of burning rubber in his wake. "I resigned, determined never again to put myself under orders," he boldly declared. A true maverick indeed. With his racing car victories and records soaring to new heights, he became the unrivaled American maestro of automotive design. His reputation revved louder than 1,000 engines, ensuring that when the time came, investors would flock to him like speed demons chasing victory. Ford Motor Company. With the backing of 11 visionary investors, including a sharp-witted coal dealer, Henry Ford set out to revolutionize the automotive world. His audacious vision? A motor car for the masses, built with the finest materials and engineering brilliance. Gathering an impressive team of like-minded individuals, Henry overcame failure after failure until he struck gold with the legendary Model A. But he didn't stop there. For 5 relentless years, he refined his creation, introducing the remarkable Model N. Recognizing the importance of streamlined production, Henry built his own factory in 1904, employing over 300 skilled workers. Here, he pioneered the assembly line, a concept that would change manufacturing forever. Driven by his hunger for control, Henry established his own manufacturing company, crafting engines, transmissions, and everything needed for his masterpieces. And he had a secret weapon, vanadium steel, making his new creation, the Model T, lighter and 3 times stronger. The Model T, priced at $850, became a legend, capturing America's heart with over 15,000 orders pouring in. Ford Motor Company soared to the top, reigning as America's premier car company. The assembly line. Henry Ford realized he needed a bigger factory to keep up with the demand for the Model T. So, he built a grand new plant in 1910. The assembly line, born in 1913, revolutionized production, reducing the time it took to build a car from 12 hours to just 90 minutes. Ford's factory produced over 300,000 vehicles by 1914, surpassing all other car manufacturers combined. Almost half of all cars on Earth were Ford's. To keep his workforce loyal, Henry doubled their wages to $5 a day and reduced working hours. Other companies scrambled to match these changes. Ford's daring moves reshaped the industry, proving that paying workers well could lead to prosperity for all. In 1919, Henry bought out other investors, making himself the sole owner of the world's largest automobile company. He passed the torch to his son, but remained the driving force. Yet, even the richest man in America discovered that absolute power had its price. Trouble in Paradise. Henry Ford's unwavering belief in the Model T blinded him to the allure of stylish and comfortable cars like Chevrolet. His stubbornness prevented him from heeding the advice of Ford executives, including his own son, Edsel, who urged him to embrace change. But as sales plummeted in the late 1920s, reality could no longer be ignored. With a sigh of surrender, Henry shut down the Model T assembly line and set his sights on a new car. Enter the Model A, released in 1927, but this time manufactured in a grander facility along Michigan's Rogue River. This sprawling factory became a beacon of innovation, housing every aspect of car production, from refining raw materials to final assembly. Yet, Henry's iron-fisted control was no longer a recipe for success. By 1936, Ford Motor Company had fallen to the third spot in the US market, overshadowed by General Motors and Chrysler. Despite Henry's ingenious V8 engine design, the road ahead was treacherous. The Great Depression struck, forcing layoffs and price reductions. Tragedy struck when Henry's son succumbed to stomach cancer in 1943. Still, he soldiered on for 2 more years before handing over the reins to his grandson, Henry II. Retreating to his estate, Henry's final chapter was marked by a cerebral hemorrhage on April 7, 1947. Life, Henry Ford knew, is an intricate tapestry of experiences that shape our character. Setbacks and sorrows, though challenging, propel us forward. Today, Ford Motor Company reigns as one of the world's automotive giants, with a market cap of approximately $70 billion. The road may have been twisted, but Henry's legacy endures. This is how Ford comes into existence and evolved the automobiles. I hope you enjoyed this video and get to know about the history of one of your favorite cars.